وعليه الطيبين الطاهرين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So the surah we're gonna look at today is Sura Taahaa. My goodness, it's a phenomenal surah. It's a bit like Surah Yusuf. Very much focused on Prophet Musa. Except with Yusuf you sort of had the whole story in one surah. With Prophet Musa, it's a bit like watching a box set on TV. So you have different seasons. I would say this is season 1. Then you have Surah Al-Shu'ara, and you also have Surah Al-Qasas. So these will continue with the story of Prophet Musa. And you will see how there's bits here, and then there's a little bit of what happened, and then it's explained in the other surahs. So the moment you think Taha, you think Musa. And funnily enough, you'll find that all the surahs of the Quran, they begin with Ta, as in, I think in the old way we used to say Toi, but it's Ta. You find that I talk about the snake of Musa, the snake of Prophet Musa, and Ta is like Egyptian hieroglyphics, actually written like a Ta, and it's you can see it's like a snake. That's one of the miracles of the Quran. So the focus is literally the life of Prophet Musa. It also teaches how to respond to those who have takabbur, to those who insult you, and we will find how Prophet Musa is taught to respond to Fir'aun, and finally establishing Salah. There's a little bit about Prophet Adam in here as well, but the main focus is Prophet Musa. I've mentioned this to you. Benefits of recitation. It's amazing because I remember my grandmother used to tell me this about reciting this for anybody who wanted to get married. So it's a good surah to recite. Maybe we have Cupid, maybe that's QPID. Maybe we should be reciting it as well. There's forgiveness, and we'll understand as we go along why, and getting closer to Allah. So we're going to be able to look at the first section and possibly a little bit of the second section. So we've divided the surah into 5 sections. The first section is consolation to the Prophet, as we will see. The largest section is section 2, which talks about the story of Prophet Musa. And then you have about deniers of guidance and those who believe. There's a comparison. There's Prophet Adam. And finally, we have the establishment of Salah. So let's start, and we'll start with the first ayah, as we always do. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Taha. It's a huruful muqatti'at surah, and therefore you will see in Quran City we've placed it between Muhammad square, or if I can say Muhammad center square, and huruful muqatti'at, that's in the middle. Taha is known to be a name of the Prophet. Lots of explanations. I'm not going to go into those. So the Prophet is addressed and told, Ma anzalna alayka al-Qur'ana litashka. We did not send the Quran down to you so that you would be overwhelmed by it, so that you would be exhausted by it. Tashqa is very similar to shaqaqa as well, so that you will fail. The Quran was revealed for you to be able to succeed. And you look at it and you think, oh my goodness. Can you imagine the Prophet told, this is what you will have to transmit to this people, and he's overwhelmed by it. And Allah says, no. There's no need to get overwhelmed by it. We've revealed it so that you will not fail, so that you will not be unsuccessful, you will not be overwhelmed, you will not be exhausted. Why was it sent down then? Illa tazkiratan. It will be a reminder for who? For one who positively fears, who is in awe of divinity. In other words, it was sent to activate the seed of Iman. Each one of us, inside us, we've got this little switch. It needs to be switched on. And the Quran, or the words of Allah, are there to activate it, to switch it on, basically. That's what it's there about. But we have a choice whether we want to do it or not. Now he's telling the Prophet, Tanzilan. It is said, Tanzil, remember, Tanzil is step by step, or a bit at a time. So it was sent down, it is sent down by who? Mimman khalaqal arda was samawati al-ula. It was sent down from the one who created the earth and the high heavens. Now, you've got to watch the words in this surah. Why is Allah using the word samawati al-ula? Remember, Fir'aun said, Ana rabbukumul a'ala, I am the highest Rabb. Now you will find there are little connotations about this surah and how it relates to Musa and Fir'aun. So he says, it is he from the Creator who sent down over time this revelation, and he was the creator of the heaven, of the earth and the high heavens. Remember Fir'aun building that big tower with Hammam because he wanted to reach Allah at the top. There's always these, every surah will tell you these little tips about who it's talking about. And who is it? Ar-Rahman. He is the phenomenally kind, the phenomenally merciful. Alal arsh istawa. And his arsh, his throne is established. In comparison to Fir'aun, who is tyrannical, who is mean, whose throne is not firm in power at all. So you will find this. It's amazing how it leads to these different things. And he says, "Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard." To him belongs what is in the heavens and the earth. وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا, and what is between them. And normally would have stopped there. But he says, وَمَا تَحْتَ الثَّرَى, and what is in between the wet layers of the earth. You and I know today that the most treasures are found underneath the earth. Whether it is natural gas, or whether it is oil, or whether it is any sort of precious stones. And he said, Mama tahta thara, because Fir'aun prided himself on having the treasures of the heavens and the earth. Now he says, wa in tajhar. Jahar is to call someone loudly so everybody can hear. Remember, men have to recite some of the salahs loudly. They have to be an audible whisper. So wa in tajhar, if you say it aloud so everyone can hear, bil qawl, فَإِنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ السِّرَّ وَيَخْفَى. It doesn't matter. He knows what is hidden, what is in your conscious, وَأَخْفَى, what is even hidden to you, what is in your subconscious. Now, this will come up again and again and again. The conscious and the subconscious. The hidden, that which you think, when Allah talks about sir, a secret is something that you share with someone. Somebody knows your secret. You might share it with yourself. But akhfa is even what you don't know, he knows. He knows even the stuff that you are not coming out with to yourself. And then he says, Allahu la ilaha illahu. Allah, there is no God but He. Lahul asma'ul husna. For Him are the most amazing attributes, the most beautiful attributes. Now you could put a reference there with 180, Surah number 7, Ayah 180. You could put a reference to Surah Al-Isra, Surah 17, Ayah 110. And you could put a reference to Surah Al-Furqan, Surah 25, Ayah 63. And I'll just show you how I have got them in my Quran so you can see. There you go. So if you see that first section, I've put a line under it. And I've also got to put for you 7.180, 17.110, and 25.63. And I've put that as section 1. So now we're going to go into what this surah is all about, which is section 2. Now we've subdivided it. So if you can see, you've got 9 to 36, 37 to 41. We may get somewhere here. I would say probably up to Ayah 48, because we have to take this slowly. It's a long surah. So this is now the story of Prophet Musa and how Allah describes it in the Quran. It's absolutely phenomenal. So these are the subsections that you have. Inshallah, we'll send them to you. We'll put them on the groups. So now I say, وَهَلْ أَتَاكَ حَدِيثُ مُوسَى. Has this new information about Musa come to you? It's not a qasas, it's not the story. I'm sorry it's translated as story here. But hadith is like news. It's like new information. Like, I don't know whether you do this, but in the morning when I pick up my phone, I will look at the different newspapers. I've got the Times and the Guardian and Sky News or whatever. And you will see the news alert. So this is like, has the new information of Musa come to you? Has the news of Musa come to you? And you go, no, want to know more about it. إِذْ رَأَى نَارًا, when he saw fire. فَقَالَ لِأَهْلِهِ, and he told his family, إِمْكُثُوا. إِمْكُثُوا means stay here and wait. Don't move. Stay exactly here. Why should you stay and wait? إِنِّي أَنَسْتُ نَارًا, I perceive some fire. So that tells you this is a journey by night, because you can't see fire during the day. It's quite difficult if he's perceived it. And inni, I have, he has seen it. It didn't say we have seen it. So I perceive fire, maybe so flicker somewhere. لَعَلِّي آتِيكَ مِنْهَا, maybe بِقَبَسٍ, maybe I can bring you a little bit of fire, so I might be able to get us some warmth, which tells you it was quite cold. أو أجد على النار هدى, or we can find some guidance. So through the light, we can be able to be guided in this night time. So you can imagine night, they're traveling, and he sees a bit of fire, and he thinks, you know what, maybe this will give me some guidance. I'll be able to see a bit more. They can't see very well. So sat nav and heat. So that's what they're looking for here. So he goes near the fire. So he's climbing this mountain. فَلَمَّا أَتَاهَا, so when he came to it, nudiya, something called out, dua, to call out. Nida, it called out, Ya Musa. I just gotta imagine this, okay? It's dark, family's down there. He's gone to get fire, and somebody says, Ya Musa. Can you imagine that? It's like, oh my goodness, what happened? And the voice said, Inni ana rabbuka. I am your Rabb. فَخْلَعْنَا عَلَيْكَ. Take off your sandals. Take off your shoes. Innaka, you are bilwadi al-muqaddas tuwa. You are in a sacred valley, muqaddas, and the valley is called Tuwa. So here you look at the first order that was given to the Prophet. And he was told, Iqra, read, internalize, understand, apply, and teach. Musa is given practical stuff first. This came first. These prophets, there's a way of doing it. You've got to teach somebody, this is sacred. That's why we say before you enter Quran City, do wudu. In other words, before you read Quran, do wudu. Say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Be comfortable. Sit down. Say, La ilaha illallah. Use the dua of the Prophet, Walzam qalbi. Say, I really want to fall in love with this book. These are all prerequisites. He is told this is a sacred valley. He didn't know it was a sacred valley. He's been told, sacred valley. Take off your shoes. Wa ana, and I, akhtartuka. I have chosen you. Ikhtiyar is to choose. Fastami', listen. Lima yuha, of what is revealed. Now, we're told in a hadith, Musa says, but why me? Me, why did you choose me? He said, Musa, think about the earth and think of something that you could find that has the most humility. Now, Musa had an anger, he had a problem, he had an anger problem. But he's asked to look for something that has the most humility. And he says, Ya Allah, I think about everything in the world. You know what is the weakest? It's my neck. I rest my case, Allah says. That's why I chose you. For your humility, Musa. Fastami', so listen, lima yuha, or what is revealed to you. Innani ana Allah. I am Allah. La ilaha illa ana. There is no God but I. Now, first order that he's given is fa'buduni, serve me. Only me. You will only serve me. Wa aqimis salah li dhikri. The second order, establish salah to remember me. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innal qulub. You'll never find itminan until you remember Allah. And here he's telling you and me that it is salah that will enable you. There's a real emphasis on salah. Aqimis salah li dhikri. Establish salah li dhikri, for my remembrance. Okay, so the first thing was be submissive to me. In other words, submit to me, serve me. Second thing was establish salah. Third thing, inna sa'ata atiyatun akadu ukhfiha. The hour is coming. Accountability. Day of judgment is coming. Ukhfiha. Ikhfa. It's hidden. لِتُجْزَى كُلُّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا تَسْعَى. But he says, أَكَادُ أُخْفِيهَا. It is hidden, but I will bring it up. I will give you a sign. And the sign was Rasulullah. Then he's saying, لِتُجْزَى, on that day, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا تَسْعَى. Everybody will see what they strive for. So let's go back a little bit and see these orders. Maybe I skipped one. Innani ana Allah. I am Allah. That's my tawheed. La ilaha illa ana. It's no God but me. Fa'buduni, serve me. So let's go. 1, tawheed. 2, serve me. 3, pray. 4, accountability. So there's 4 things that are told. Musa, these are the things you have to do. And then فَلَا يَسُدَّنَّكَ عَنْهَا مَنْ لَا يُؤْمِنُ بِهَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ فَتَرْدَى. Now, those who don't agree with this, those who don't follow this, don't allow distraction, because this any distraction away from it they'll end up fatarda. Fatarda actually means to fall off a cliff. They will think they're climbing up, but they will fall off a cliff. So don't let anyone distract you from these things. Again, what things? Let's go back to it. One God, serve me, pray, and know that you are accountable. Don't let that distract you, because you will fall off a cliff. Now you can imagine, this is children. These are instructions that are pretty sort of, they're hard. They're facts. They're told to you. This is what you believe in. Then there is a softness. وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى. What is in your right hand, O Musa? Now, when you talk to somebody with love, you will find automatically you will try to make them comfortable by mentioning their name all the time, and you will pick up a conversation with them. This is God. He's already told you, I am your God. I know it all. You think he doesn't know what's in his hand? But he's trying to make a conversation, make Musa feel comfortable. Look at what Musa says. And it's so amazing. He says, Kala, hiya asaya. This is my big stick. Asaya is not like a, I know it says staff here, but asaya is like a large stick, you know. Atawakkau alayha. I lean on it. Wa ahushu biha ala ghanami. Ahushu. Maybe I'm going to try and find a translation for ahushu. It's like to make sure that leaves come off the leaves, sort of, you shake bushes. It's a soft shaking of the bushes, so the leaves can fall. Hashasha also means to giggle or to smile. So he says, I use it to shake the bushes. Ala ghanami. وَلِيَ فِيهَا مَعَارِبُ أُخْرَى, so that those leaves ala ghanami fall on my sheep, so they're able to eat it, and I have other uses for it as well. He is trying to prolong this conversation because he thinks, oh my God, I'm speaking to God. I need to make this conversation go longer and longer and longer. I just need to speak and speak and speak. I have a very good friend who, when she calls and I say, where did you go? How was your day today? And she will say, I got up in the morning, and then I picked up my keys, and then I got into the car, and then I went to the supermarket, and then I went round the shelves, and then whatever. She could have said, I just went and bought this. But it is awesome to be able to hear her voice say that. Okay, so that shows me she loves me lots. So this is talking to God, something completely different. Can you imagine? And then Allah saying, Kala, alkiha ya Musa, put it down. See, it's not throw it. Ilka is to drop. Drop it, ya Musa. And again with love, ya Musa. It doesn't just say, alkiha, just throw it. You know, it's like you say to your child, can you do this, my Jan, or do this, my... And you use that word all the time. Saying, Kala alkiha ya Musa. Drop it, O Musa. For alkaha, so he dropped it. For idha hiya. And then it became hayyatun tas'a. It became a snake, and not just a normal snake. Hayya is a snake with fangs. So this snake with fangs. And you know, hayya comes from hayy, which is life. But hayya also means something that takes life. So this scary snake, tas'a, sa'i. You know what sa'i is? To run. It was running. In the Quran, there are 3 words for snake. There is hayya. There is Tha'ban. Tha'ban is a large snake. And then there is Jan. Jan is like a wriggling little, you know, like you see the garden snakes. But this was a snake. Can you imagine the snake coming up to you with its fangs open? فَأَلْقَاهَا فَإِذَا هِيَ حَيَّةٌ تَسْعَىٰ. Can you imagine Musa? And then Allah is saying, قَالَ خُذْهَا. Pick it up. Just take it. And then he says, وَلَا تَخَفْ. Don't be scared. First he says, pick it up. Take my order first. And then he says, don't be scared. سَنُعِيدُهَا سِيرَةَ الْأُولَى. We will take it back to its original state. We will take this snake back to its original state. But the first thing is, listen to what I'm saying. Just pick it up. You know, this is in preparation for Musa to meet the human snake, which is Fir'aun. If you listen to me, Allah is saying, you will not have to worry at all. For you and me, it's the same thing. Obey my orders, and you will find things will be okay. خُذْهَا وَلَا تَخَفْ. There's so many lessons in this surah. Then he says, وَذْمُمْ. So وَذْمُمْ is to press something. Okay. So he's told, وَذْمُمْ, or squeeze, يَدَكَ, your hand, إِلَى جَنَاحِكَ, into your armpit. So put it into your armpit. And then take it out. تَخْرُجْ. You will, when you take it out, by that it'll be white. Min ghayri su, there'll be no fault in it. Ayatan ukhra, that's another sign. In other words, put it in your armpit, take it out, and it's a light bulb. So you got two things. You got a staff that turns into a snake, and then you've got your hand that you put into your armpit, and it becomes a light bulb. My goodness, can you imagine? Why? Linuriyaka, so that we may show you, Musa, min ayatina al-kubra, of our great signs. So we want to show you our miraculous signs, Musa. Okay. Now, idhab, go, ila Fir'aun. With these two signs, go. This is your mission. So this talk on this mountain first showed him the miracles. First told him take off his shoes. This is sacred. You're talking to God. Then the miracles. Now your mission. Musa, your mission is to go to Fir'aun. Idhab ila Fir'aun. Innahu tagha. He is, my goodness, he has crossed all the limits. Okay, so Fir'aun is somebody, so he's being told now that this guy is exceeded every limit. He is something else. And it's not that Musa doesn't know. Musa is there. He's been there. It's not that he's not there. All right. Now let's see where we go to. Can you imagine Musa? He's petrified. He's lived with Fir'aun. He knows. Now you remember right in the beginning when we were doing the surah, Allah in ayah 7 says, فَإِنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ السِّرَّ وَأَخْفَى. Allah knows the secret and your subconscious. So immediately in Musa's mind, if you're thinking about it, he's thinking of the person he killed. And he's thinking they were looking for him. What does he say? He says, he does a dua. And all of you know this dua. It's a beautiful dua. قَالَ رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي. You know, this secret is inside. I know what to do with it. Expand my chest to be, at the moment it's constricted with this secret, this conscious and this subconscious. Expand it for me. Give me confidence. Give me confidence in this, in being able to do this mission. Make me fully in tune with this task. A beautiful surah given to the Prophet. Alam nashrah laka sadrak. Surah al-Inshirah. Wa wada'na anka wizrak. It's the same thing here. What does he say? Allah tells him, Alam nashrah laka sadrak. Did we not expand your inner chest? You know, the sadr, you've got a heart, the heart that we normally draw. Valentine, we're going to draw it. There's a box outside it. Imagine a treasure chest with your heart in it. Sadr is that treasure chest there. That keeps all the secrets in there. And the more difficult the secrets, the tighter the box is closed. It needs to open up. So he's saying, Rabbi shrah li sadri. Open my breast for me. In other words, it's quite difficult to give me confidence. Make me fully in tune with this task so that I'm focused. وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي. Make my task easy for me. So I'm focused. Because there's all these things going on in my head. وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي. Prophet Musa already had a stutter. When you get nervous, when you're angry, your stutter gets worse. So he's telling him, I get nervous. Maybe I will not be able to verbalize what I want to say. So help me by loosening this knot. In other words, help me to overcome my stutter. يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي, so that they may understand my words. They will really understand what I am able to say. See, often when we hear something, when we read Quran without understanding it, we just read it. And then you find someone who explains something to you. That's the difference between teachers and academics. I'm not saying academics they're wonderful, because it's from them that we learn. But if you sometimes listen to them, all the ologies, my goodness, it's so hard to understand. A teacher will talk according to the level of her students. Otherwise, if you were to say everything you knew, my goodness, can you imagine talking to, my grandchildren are very young. If I was talking to my 3-year-old or 4-year-old, she teaches me more than I teach her. But if I was talking to her, you cannot talk as an adult. You have to bring yourself down to their level. So he's saying, I'm going to go to Fir'aun, this guy who thinks he knows everything, who's got so much takabbur, who thinks he owns the world. I need to be able to control myself. I need to be able to articulate my speech, not get nervous, not get angry. Ya Allah, I need your help. And then he says, I can't do this on my own. وَجَلِّي وَزِيرًا مِنْ أَهْلِي, give to me somebody who will help me from my family. Now, wazir comes from wizr. Wizr is a heavy burden. Somebody who will help me bear this burden of talking to Fir'aun. Give me somebody who will help me. And he asks for Harun akhi, my brother Harun. You know, a whole ayah of Quran is dedicated to Harun. It's amazing, because the Prophet had Imam Ali. You know, he said, you are to me as Harun was to Musa. It's just amazing, the similarities. He didn't even have to ask. He was given Ali, literally. And here it says, I want my brother. Ushdud bihi azri. He will strengthen my side. He will reinforce my side. Azri is side. In other words, he will be by my side. He will always be there with me. وَأَشْرِكْهُ فِي أَمْرِي, and he will be a partner with me in this task that you have assigned to us. Okay, so I need him for moral support, just like the Prophet had Imam Ali. كَيْ نُسَبِّحَكَ كَثِيرًا. You know, we will declare your perfection a lot. This is what we're going to do together. In other words, when you do things together, he's saying we can do things much better. We will declare your perfection. وَنَذْكُرَكَ كَثِيرًا, and we will remember you a lot. We will pray together. We will do things together, and we will be able to remember you a lot. إِنَّكَ كُنْتَ بِنَا بَصِيرًا. You have a 360 degrees view on us. So you have a total view on us. You know exactly what we are and what we're doing. And finally, the last bit of this little section, a subsection of the big one. قال, Allah says, قَدْ أُوتِيتَ سُؤْلَكَ يَا مُوسَى. We've already given it to you. This is already done and dusted. It's already granted to you, O Musa. We've given it to you. So what does he give him? Let's see what he asks for. He asks for confidence. He asks for that constriction where that's secret and that's where the conscious and the subconscious are. He asks for that to be relieved. How is that going to be relieved? Because he's killed someone, remember. He wants his task to be easy. He wants to be able to focus on the task in hand. He wants his stutter. He wants to be able to verbalize what he wants to say. He wants them to understand. He doesn't want to be overcome by anger or nervousness or nothing. And with that, he needs help. He needs his brother to be with him so he can stand by him. And he's told, you got it, Musa. All done. You didn't have to, we did this before you even asked for it. You've got it. Okay. Now another subsection. Now Allah is reminding him. Allah is telling him, وَلَقَدْ مَنَنَّ عَلَيْكَ مَرَّةً أُخْرَى. Man is like something that's heavy. Mananna is like, let me just remind you of this massive favor that we did on you before, at another time. So I'm just going to remind you what we've done, okay? We'll never let you down, in other words. إِذْ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّكَ يَا مَا يُوحَىٰ. What we revealed to your mama, what was revealed. In other words, we did what we did with your mama. Why is Allah saying that to him? It's a matter of respect. He's not saying we told your mom to nurse you. He's not going to tell Musa that. But we reveal stuff to your mom. He's not going to tell him that your mom's heart was breaking. We held her heart together. Remember Surah number 28, Ayat 10. Look it up, right? So we held her heart. He didn't say that. He said, look, we revealed to her what we revealed. He's telling Musa. And then he's telling him the other stuff that Musa's mom was told to do, right? So she was told, Anikdi fihi fit tabut. First she's told, put him in the tabut. Put him in a chest. Number one. Then she's told, Fakdi fihi fil yam. Throw him in the yam. Yam is like a wide river. That's the best way I can describe it. It's an extra wide river. Throw him in the Nile. What happened? فَلْيُلْكِيهِ الْيَمْ. And what the river will do, it will throw bisahil. It will throw that tabut, that chest, on the shore. يَأْخُذْهُ عَدُوٌّ لِي وَعَدُوٌّ لَهُ. And this tabut will be found. It will be taken up by my enemy and your enemy, Fir'aun. But Allah says, and this is just the most awesome part of Sura Taahaa. Please don't forget it. Underline it in red. I'll show you what I've done. وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِّنِّي. I will. See Al-Qaita again? If a yulkihi, then you've got Alka is like, we will put down, we will throw alayka on you, mahabbatan minni. We will throw down on you love from me. That's what you ask from God. That's what you say. Please throw love down on me. Why? He says, وَلِتُسْنَعَ عَلَىٰ عَيْنِي. So that I will build you in front of my eyes. Sana'a is to manufacture. Right? Manufacturing, to manufacture something, to make something is sana'a. So I'll make you before my eyes. But what happens when Allah throws down love on him? The moment Asya opens this tabut, oh my God, she falls in love with him. She calls him Qurrata Aini. You've heard this in Hadith Kisa. Qurra is when you cannot move your eyes away from something you love or someone you love. That's Qurrat Aini. Qurrat Aini is when your eyes cannot move away from what you are seeing. It's so, it just fills you with love. So she was besotted with him. I mean, Fir'aun did not have any emotions. He did not have any, he wasn't a soft person at all. Not at all. He would have killed him. He was somebody, didn't make any difference to him. He would have just killed him. But what did he do? He didn't kill him. He looked at him and he just fell in love because there was a godly love put into Musa. This is the ayah. وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِّنِّي. Can you imagine all those people who saw this baby? This baby just cried and cried and cried, yet they all loved this baby because of وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِّنِّي وَلِتُسْنَعَ عَلَىٰ عَيْنِي. And we will build you in front of our eyes. This is what we did for you, Musa. Musa is reminded. This is conversation on the mountain. And then he's told, Istamshi ukhtuka. When your sister walked, where did she walk? We'll find out in the other surahs. Fatakulu, and she told him, Hal adullukum ala ma yakfuluhu. Shall I take you to somebody who will look after him? Yakfuluhu is to look after, because he was crying so much. So now we also know that the reason why Allah tells Musa, Yuqabid her name was, by the way, to nurse her son, was that when she nursed him, then he would only take milk from her. فَرَجَعْنَاكَ إِلَىٰ أُمِّكَ. And we returned you back to your mama. Because they needed somebody to calm this child down. This child would not take milk from anyone. And she doesn't say to them, I'm going to bring my mom, or this is his mom. Nothing. She's going to bring you somebody who can calm this child. I know a baby whisperer. That's today's language. So she brings his mom. كَيْ تَقَرَّ عَيْنُهَا, so that her eyes might be good. Now we're talking about Musa's mom. Musa, you know what that did to her? She couldn't take her eyes off you. She was besotted with you anyway. وَلَا تَحَزَنْ, and she wasn't sad either. So the favor that we find here, let me go back a bit so you see. وَلَقَدْ مَنَنَّا, that favor also was the favor that was done to your mom, which tells you when your mom is at peace, you will be at peace. When your mom is happy with you, you will be happy. So it says, فَرَجَعْنَاكَ إِلَىٰ أُمِّكَ كَيْ تَقَرَّ عَيْنُهَا, you became the coolness of her eyes. وَلَا تَحْزَنْ, and she did not become sad. وَقَتَلْتَ نَفْسًا, now the secret comes out. And you killed a soul. فَنَجَّيْنَاكَ مِنَ الْغَمِّ, and we saved you from the depression that ensued. You know what gham is? Gham comes from ghamama. Ghamama is dark clouds. When there is dark clouds, there is no light. It's scary. There's a lack of sunlight. There's uncertainty. There's depression. That was gham. That's what it does. Gham, that's what God takes away. It says, we saved you from that depression because you're a good man. When you killed somebody in error, it was in your conscious, in your subconscious. It constricted you. But we saved you from it. We're opening you up. So we've already done it. وَفَتَنَّاكَ فُتُونَ. You know, fatana is how you purify gold. How you will take the ore and then how it'll be boiled at high temperatures and how it'll be made into gold. So we tested you with so many tests. What tests? There's so many tests, and we'll see them in the other surahs that will come. And we really tested you. فَلَبِثْتَ سِنِينَ فِي أَهْلِ مَدْيَنَ, and you even stayed for some years with the people of Madian. And then a beautiful bit again, and I think this is again one of the most beautiful parts of this surah, when he says, ثُمَّ جِئْتَ عَلَى قَدَرٍ يَا مُوسَى, and then you came to this point according to your qadr. So it took all the, we say Laylatul Qadr, right? So there's so many things that happened, and if they had not happened like as they did, you wouldn't have been here, Ya Musa. And this is said with love again, Ya Musa. So when you and I look back at our lives, there's so many things that happen, the good, the bad, the ugly. But it took all of those to make us who we are. And that's why he's said, ثُمَّ جِئْتَ عَلَى قَدَرٍ يَا مُوسَى. Please highlight that. ثُمَّ جِئْتَ عَلَى قَدَرٍ يَا مُوسَى. And we will understand. You, in other words, you came here at right on the time that you were supposed to be here, with the right state of mind. That's how you came here. And then the last part of this section or subsection, وَاسْتَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي. My goodness. We used those words. Sana, I told you, was to manufacture, to build, to manufacture. And this word, istana'a, is exactly as I wanted. When you watch cookery programs, they have illustration of the cake or the food that it's supposed to be, and sometimes illustration is so beautiful. The food that is made is different from the illustration. We do it ourselves, right? But here he says, you turned out exactly as I wanted you for myself, and I built you exactly what I wanted to build you as. And he doesn't say li, for me. He says li nafsi, for myself. It's a beautiful dua. Make me as you would want to build me to be. وَاسْتَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي, and I made you exactly what I wanted to build. That's just something else. Okay, we've got a little bit of time, so we'll do the other ayat. We'll do 42 to 48, that section. So now he's given the mission, and he's told, he's reminded, he's told about what's been done, how he got here. Can you imagine how he must be feeling now? Full of confidence, thinking, oh my goodness, this is my God. Now he's told, اذهب, go, أنت وأخوك, you and your brother, بآياتي, with my miraculous signs, ولا تنيا في ذكري. Remember, don't fall short of remembering me. Tawani is when you fall short, when you do something less than what you're supposed to do. So basically, they were told, keep up with what you promised me. You said you would remember me, keep up to that promise. In the second ayah, in 43, it's not idhab, now it's izhaba. You see, first it's idhab anta wa akhuka, really spelled out, you and your brother. Here, idhaba, both of you. Go to Fir'aun, ila Fir'aun. Innahu tagha. He has crossed the limits. So he has rebelled, in other words. Both of you go to Fir'aun because he has rebelled. Fakula. Now, again, really important. Fakula. Talk to him. Qawlan layyinan. La'in. If I can, layyin. Let me try and try and see where we can find the words. So lean, for example. Lean is a date that is really, really soft. So the softest of dates are known as lean. When you come to the word layyin, it means talk really, really softly. Not throughout your conversation with him, just talk really softly. لعله, maybe, there is a possibility, يتذكر أو يخشى, that he may remember God in this, or he may positively fear God too. This is a guy who calls himself God. This is a guy with takabbur. This is a guy who, my goodness, they know what he's like. He's rebellious. Allah himself is saying that he is rebellious. But saying, you just talk to him layyinan. Don't get him angry. Don't flare up the conversation. Whatever happens, this is my order to you, they're told. فَقُولَ لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا. Just remember that date, lean. Kichri is what I remember when I hear layyina. Just talk softly. It's okay. He may. That Allah is saying, even somebody like Fir'aun has the possibility of يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَى. They're scared. قَالَ. Both of them say, رَبَّنَا, our Rabb, إِنَّنَا تَخَافُ. We're really scared. What are you scared of? أَن يَفْرُطَ عَلَيْنَا. We're scared that he will do farata. What is farata? Farata is either you go over the limit, you cross the limit, and you illegally you do something wrong, or you go under the limit and you just don't want to know. So in other words, they're saying, we're scared أن يفرط علينا أو أن يطغى, that he might just go over the limit, يطغى, he might rebel, or he may not even let us speak. He won't even give us a chance to say anything. And you know what? We won't be able to do anything. We won't be able to complete this mission. And you're telling us to talk softly to him. Kala. He says, La takhafa, don't be scared. What's wrong with you? Don't be scared. Innani ma'akuma. I am with you. I'm with you both. Asma'u wa ara. I hear and I see. You can see something from a distance. So if your eyes are good and if they're not, you have glasses, you can see something quite far away. But to hear something, you have to be pretty close to someone. You cannot hear something unless you're close. So he first says, Asma'u. I can hear. In other words, he's saying, I'm really, really close to you. So don't be scared. I'm with you all the way. Don't worry at all. Don't be scared. I'm here. Now, what do? We go to him. What are we supposed to do? He says, Fa'tiyahu fakula. So both of you go to him and say to him, Inna Rasula Rabbika. We are messengers from your Rabb. Number 1. فَأَرْسِلْ مَعَنَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيل. Send with us the Bani Israel. You will no longer enslave them. وَلَا تُعَذِّبْهُمْ. You will not punish them. You will not put them under any difficulty. Number 4. قَدْ جِئْنَاكَ بِآيَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكَ. We have brought miraculous signs from your Rabb. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَى مَنِ اتَّبَعَ الْهُدَى. And whoever follows this guidance, they will have peace. That's what they're supposed to tell him. The next thing they're supposed to tell him, Inna kad uhiya ilayna. It has been revealed to us. They're supposed to tell him that. Anna al-adhaba ala man kaddaba wa tawalla. That if you turn away from this, then you will be punished. Now, let's go back to one thing. I mean, when Musa and Harun go to the palace, they could be turned away. The guards would have posters everywhere which says he's the murderer. He has to be apprehended and killed straight away. But somehow they didn't do that. And they didn't do that because of this. I'm just going to remind you again and again and again, okay? وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِّنِّي. Because Musa, he had love. He had divine love put on him. You had no choice but to love him. Can't do anything to anybody who has divine love. Isn't it amazing? Okay. All right. So this is what they said. This is what they had to do. Maybe we'll do a little bit, okay? I'm going to stop somewhere, but I'll stop at maybe at 51 or 52. So that they're now in the court of Fir'aun. And Qala, he says, فَمَنْ رَبُّكُمَا يَا مُوسَى. Who is this Rabb of yours, O Musa? Look, what does he say here? فَمَنْ رَبُّكُمَا. Who is the Rabb of you both? He doesn't even acknowledge Harun. He says, Ya Musa. He doesn't see Harun as somebody who was even worthy to be called by name because he was from the Bani Israel. Musa was as well, but Musa was raised in his home. You know, the Pharaohs had their elite schools. So if you were educated in their elite schools, like we have Oxbridge and Harvard and all the other ones that we have, then you are acknowledged as somebody elite. And you won't even look. Some employers will not even look at someone who came from a university that they don't acknowledge, which is crazy. But that's a different topic altogether. Here, he's not even acknowledging Harun. It's only because Musa has been brought up in his house. It says, "Qala fama rabbukuma ya Musa." He says, "Qala rabbuna alladhi a'ata kulla shayin khalaqahu thumma hada." My Rabb is He who created everything and then guided it. Everything knows where it's supposed to go, what its full potential is, what its maximum is. Or rather, what its personal best is. Look what Fir'aun does. Fir'aun doesn't like this at all. He wants his crowd, everybody in his court, to hate Musa and Harun. He wants to be able to justify to kill them. So he is really smart. When I say smart, he is evil smart. Look what he does. He says, "Qala, فَمَا بَالُ الْقُرُونِ الْأُولَى." Musa, tell me something. His questions about his ancestors. He says, what is the current situation of my ancestors? Remember, they're known as the elite. The Pharaohs are elite. Their families are elite. Everybody else is beneath them. So now he's saying, are you trying to say, with all these things you've said about accountability and whatever that you were asked to tell me, are you trying to say that because my ancestors didn't follow it, they're somewhere else? They're being punished? Is that what you're saying? And you know, the simple answer would, maybe you and I would say yes. And he's trying to make sure that if they ever, he wants them to say yes, so that everybody in the court can hate them. But look what Musa says. Qala. I don't know, he says. Ilmuha inda Rabbi. Fi kitab. The knowledge of what is happening to your ancestors is with my Rabb. It's in a book. La yadillu Rabbi wa la yansa. My Rabb does not make any mistakes about what anybody has done, neither does he forget. So he responds without offending. So from now on we'll start a conversation about Allah, and inshallah and next week when we meet we will continue again from ayah 50 where he asks them, or rather 49, Qala fama rabbukuma ya Musa. This was just a bit of a taster for you, so inshallah we will